Hello and welcome to Knowit Salesforce webinar about data-driven excellence, mastering marketing and sales with customer data. It's great to have you all on board. We have great content and great speakers today. And the agenda that we're going to use for our hour is that first a brief introduction into Knowit. Then we continue over to Saku's presentation of data strategy and infrastructure. From there over to Jonathan, who will run us through of what it takes to design and implement data-driven customer experiences. And from there over to Kati's part of introduction to Salesforce Data Cloud. And we will end up with a Q&A session. There is a question box that you can include your questions during the presentations, and we will take those at the end of the session. So hope you will have a good time together with us. So briefly about Knowit. Knowit is a Nordic powerhouse for digital solutions. We are located across all of the Nordic countries, plus in Germany and Poland as well. Approximately 4,500 employees altogether, and annual revenues of a bit more than 600 million. We have 4 business areas. I will tell you more about those briefly. And we are taking the ESG agenda as into our core of our business. Knowit in Finland is approximately plus 500 employees altogether. We are located in 4 of the major cities, Helsinki, Tampere, Turku, and Oulu, and we have 4 of the business areas with what we support our customers in the market. One is a management consulting that is more of operational commercial excellence and top management advisory regarding those topics. And the second one is in digital experience business area, more for web services, e-commerce, marketing technologies, and those solutions. Innovative solutions is our technical development area that we strongly focus on implementing and designing technical solutions for our customers. And the third one is a cloud business enablement, which is more of providing cloud hosting and support to host our customers' digital solutions, as well as managed services to those solutions. We believe in converging business innovation and digital together and infusing that with the human insight that provides us the unique combination of expertise with what we can support and steer our customers' business in the age of digitalization and sustainability. When it comes to Knowit Salesforce competencies, we have currently a bit more than 50 consultants that are certified into various Salesforce clouds, and the type of expertise that we have in the company regarding the Salesforce technology purely are the business consultants, marketing and sales experts, MarTech, CRM and tech, and architects, as well as business analysts, digital marketers, data analysts, and project managers. So we are fully equipped of supporting our customers' Salesforce need and providing services in this regard. And in addition to those 50 plus consultants, we have the whole Knowit network of 4,500 digitalization, commercialization, and operational excellence consultants available for our customers. Next, we will have Saku Whiting providing us a view to data infrastructure and data strategy, and Saku will run you through of the importance of getting the kind of databases right before we have the capabilities of building those omnichannel experiences. So Saku, over to you.
Thank you. I'm working as a senior cloud advisor in Knowit Managed Services, and my expertise is in data platforms and creating data infrastructures and mapping that to data strategies. So what is a data strategy? It is the guiding map of your data journey. It defines how you can achieve your business objectives with the right competencies and tools. It is done using methods such as facilitated co-creation process and research. A data strategy is your roadmap to utilize the power of data in your business and to secure your place in the future markets. It is a plan on how data technology is matched into your business and organization. Data strategy aims you to reach and unlock the identified future possibilities with a clear understanding of what and how to do it. It's your tool to secure the structured, continuous development for the best competitive advantage today and tomorrow. Then, what is data infrastructure? Data is born in countless source systems, and it can be in many forms: databases, spreadsheets, files, social media feed, and so on. To get available the data for processing, it has to be first ingested or integrated. This may happen just once for old systems. It may happen on a daily basis or in almost real-time streaming. Some systems send data themselves. You only need to receive it, and others, the data has to be collected. So there are different forms of functions how to achieve it. And the data arrives in the format it was created in the first hand. After it has been ingested, it has to be stored. And data infrastructure ensures that data will not be lost before deprecation. It also may provide different storage layers for different purposes, such as raw data layer for incoming data, and then after that, different layers for transformations and refined data. Going forward, data processing then makes the actual transformations, and this is the value creation layer. So that data coming from different source systems can be brought together in a common format, and then that can be refined for future data products. This is usually called the ETL or ELT, coming from extract, transfer, and load process. And data processing may move data back and forth in the chain, depending where it is attempted to use. And finally, data is consumed by data users, analysts, data scientists, business users, other systems. Data may be identical to the original source system, for example, in data science use cases, or it can be a totally new product combined from multiple sources and added insights. And all of this is controlled throughout the chain by data governance activities with security and monitoring to ensure the availability, freshness, and quality of the data assets. Then, how to map these together? Data strategy is the tool that defines what the business is trying to achieve and why is it important. Data infrastructure then answers how the strategy will be implemented in real life. And the strategy maps to the infrastructure in different aspects. First is alignment. The data strategy should be aligned with an organization's business goals and objectives. And the data infrastructure is designed to support these goals by ensuring the availability and accessibility of relevant data. Then the requirements for the data. The strategy specifies the types of data required for decision making, and then the infrastructure is built to accommodate these data requirements, including the capture, storage, and retrieval. Data quality and governance. The strategy includes guidelines for maintaining data quality and governance. And infrastructure must incorporate data quality checks, metadata management, access controls to ensure that data is accurate and secure, to ensure the business continuity. Then analytics. Strategy outlines how data will be used for analytics and insights for driving the business. The data infrastructure should provide the tools and platforms for this analysis, such as data visualization, machine learning, AI, of course, nowadays, and business intelligence tools. Then scalability and flexibility is important. As an organization's data needs evolve, the data infrastructure must be scalable and flexible to accommodate changing requirements while adhering to the data strategy. And changing business needs also apply to integration. The infrastructure should enable integration across various sources, as I showed in previous slide, and systems to ensure that data can flow seamlessly as required by the data strategy. Then coming to the importance of this. So naturally, the benefits for well-aligned data strategy to infrastructure through architecture is improved decision making. That is what is, of course, sought in the first place when creating a data strategy for organization. The data quality gets improved as it's seen throughout the data chain, processing chain, and the data life cycle. Because, for example, without proper data quality, you are not able to utilize it effectively, for example, with AI nowadays. And then it brings scalability and flexibility through elastic architecture of your whole data infrastructure. So you can both adapt easier to changing business needs. You don't know what your business may require next year. So your data infrastructure must map to that. And also your business may be, for example, spiky. So during Christmas time, you get much more traffic to your systems than in other time. So your infrastructure must scale in this sense also. Then if you misalign strategy with your technical implementation, it will end easily to inefficient operations. So you will end up creating bottlenecks in several different places. The whole data infrastructure is usually quite complex, so it's easy to happen. It may create data silos. I think data silos are quite well known for many of us because organizations may not intercommunicate effectively and so on. So when creating data infrastructure for the whole organization, you must ensure that you will not end up keeping up these silos or creating new ones. And then this will all lead to possibly missed opportunities in the market and in your business. Oops, sorry. Then some things to take out. So first, ensure that your data strategy informs the infrastructure design. So it must be communicated further. It doesn't need that you create data strategy. It has to be implemented properly. Then regularly revisit and update both the strategy and the infrastructure. And it's a two-way process. It doesn't only flow from strategy to implementation because technology evolves all the time. There might become available new technical solutions that were not available before. So you need to be able to adapt your strategy to those new capabilities. You must also foster collaboration between data and IT teams. This comes from the fact that data is very close to business, and for that reason, many of the data assets are born close to the business, not close to the IT. So you must ensure that communication between these two parties is smooth and continuous. And then implement scalable and flexible infrastructure to adapt to evolving strategies so that you will keep your data assets on par with your business requirements as they change during the time. And with this, I will hand out the stage to Jonathan. Welcome.
Hi guys, nice to be here and thank you for your time, Saku. I'm joining today from Aarhus, Denmark, and I'm part of the Knowit experience part of the business. I'm a senior marketing consultant, and I'm going to be talking about a few different things today. But in big chunks, it's gonna be about regulations and why there are issues with working with first-party data or data in general today. It's gonna be about why companies deliver broken experiences, and it's gonna be about why I think CDP is a solution for this, at least part of the solution, a big part of the solution actually. Then I'm gonna end off with talking about why or how we used Salesforce Data Cloud to aid one of our clients in driving a green transition in the municipality of Aarhus, where we are situated. Yeah. So let's jump into it, and please be aware that you can write questions in the chat, and we will take them later in the Q&A. Yeah. So regulations and public sentiment has been changing in the last couple of years. I don't know if you've realized. Someone spends a lot of time on it and someone doesn't. I'm one of the people that spend a lot of time on this. It's part of my job and also part of my interests. So most of you probably remember the whole Cambridge Analytica scandal, where personal data from people was possibly used for a lot of interesting and not necessarily legal things. Some of you may also be aware that there's a lot of issues regarding TikTok and the data they track on our kids. And some of you might also be aware that it's increasingly becoming known that there's also a lot of data or a lot of money evaporating inside of the whole programmatic ad space, and that has some implications for how we need to do marketing and things we need to know about. And what always happens with when there's a market that's completely free and breaches and malpractices happen is that then laws and regulations follow after. So this is the basic reason why we can't really use cookies anymore. It's the reason why, or it's one of the reasons why Apple is adding in mail protection and cutting out cookies also. And it's a big part of the reason why none of your business is running cases against Facebook, for example, all of the time regarding privacy. So this is sort of the space we're in at the moment, where things are up in the air and things are happening. And the one missing piece in all of this is actually to solve everything. Is something we've been using in marketing automation, the space where I come from, for quite some time now. And that missing piece is permission. So having people giving you the permission to use their data for something that brings them value is something that is very, very core to what how working with data going forward. And it's also the thing that Shoshana Zuboff here that I'm quoting is talking about when she talks about what's an issue with what she calls surveillance capitalism. The fact that we take people's data without the permission and use it for all sorts of stuff. So in my mind and in my case, and certainly the case also for using a CDP, being able to honor the permission that people give you and stop communications when they pull that permission back is something that is very, very important. Yeah. So let's move on. Next to all of this stuff with regulations and public sentiment and people being frustrated of how the data is used, a lot of companies deliver broken experiences. I would say actually most companies deliver broken experience, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about why. Increasingly, everyone is moving to digital channels, and what happens here is there's actually a gap of cross-channel experience. It's increasing in size and complexity, and journeys are being designed, but most of the time it's journeys that are being designed for single channels. And part of the reason, not all of the reason, but part of the reasons is that it seems like a very simple experience for a person to buy a product and then having it sent back, or buying it from a company in a store. But the actual buying process actually consists of many different contexts for the actual consumers. Which is something that is often overlooked by companies. So for a consumer, this is perceived as a combined experience, but from a company perspective inside out, it's different silos, it's different departments, and these departments don't really work too much together. Part of the reason, and again, there are many reasons, but a big part of the reason is that we tend to think in companies that it's a linear process of buying stuff from us. So people, for example, go to the search engine, they browse catalogs, they look for customer reviews, they clarify questions, and then they purchase, and then it's just straight sailing from there. Maybe people talk to customer service, but in fact, in reality, it's totally different. Customers jump from one part of the company to another, talk to people in customer service, then they look at customer reviews, they go back and search for something else, then they talk to their friends about questions, and maybe then they place an order. Yeah. So it's a lot more complex, and it's a lot more like spaghetti than it is a linear process. The problem is that we in companies tend to then organize in silos and then forget that there is this complexity space in the middle. And in the middle is actually where the very good customer experience is. So if you as a company can combine the silos and actually control the space in between the silos, then you are very much ahead of the curve and close to delivering at least some of the customer experience that people expect in today's world. Yeah, so don't just take my word for it. Listen to the smart people out in the world. Here, for example, I'm quoting McKinsey on the fact that it's actually more strongly correlated with business outcome, meaning more money for you as a business, that you look at the entire journey and all of the touch points together instead of only focusing on one or three of them and then increasing performance in each of those 1, 2, 3 channels that you normally work at. So this isn't only McKinsey here, but it's just the one I'm using. But there's a lot of good data and a lot of good science out there showing that focusing on the holistic experience is a lot better of an idea than going for single touch points. Yeah. So now is the part where we're going to be talking about a CDP and how you can use that to sort of control the space in between, sort of control the broken experience, so to speak. For those of you that don't necessarily know what a CDP is, a CDP stands for Customer Data Platform, and the big point here, what you really need to understand, is that it's a platform for customer data, or as I would say it, it's a platform for data that you need in marketing and customer experience to deliver stuff to end users. So it's not a place where you store all of your ERP data. It's not a place where you store HR data. It's not the same as a data lake or where you store most of your company's data. It has a very focused usage, and for what it's meant for, it's very, very good at. Yeah. So a CDP has been sort of a buzzword for quite some time now, and when looking in this space in the world of vendors saying that they do CDPs, it's very obvious to me, at least, that the word is being used in a multitude of contexts. So there's many ways apparently to do what a CDP does. And as with all things, it's a lot easier to talk about stuff when you actually know what it means. And I think that the CDP Institute, Customer Data Platform Institute in the Americas, has done a very good job of actually defining what is a CDP. And they have this mark that you can get that's called Real CDP. And to be able to be a real CDP, you need to be able to, as a platform, ingest all the needed data from all sources, meaning all customer data or all data that you need to deliver the customer experience that you want to. You need to be able to capture the full detail of this ingested data. So when you get data in any form, you need to be able to take all of that data and put it into the tool and not just some part of it. You need to be able to store this data indefinitely, and this is definitely where it gets fuzzy, because most tools can do this, but for many tools you need to pay a lot of money for them to store your data indefinitely. There's this thing about cold and hot storage that you can always look into if you want to. And then it needs to be, and this is really what separates the CDP from everything else, you need to be able to construct those unified profiles, meaning take data from a lot of different channels and make one meaningful, coherent profile out of that, and then make that profile available to any external system that needs to execute the customer data. Yeah. So what is then the difference between a CDP and a CRM and a DMP, for example? Well, they work with different kinds of data. And basically what the CDP does is it encapsulates all of this data that both a DMP uses and a CRM uses, but with the point of delivering data to customer experience execution. It is not the same as a BI tool, even though BI tools historically have been used for this, but BI tools are not as scalable as a customer data platform, and it is not a data warehouse or a data lake where you store all of your company's data here. Basically, if we look at what a CDP is and how what it actually does, is it collects data from either backend systems or execution systems, what I call channel data here, matches that data together, and then utilizes it. So it can send that data in real time to any tool that executes, for example, text messages or app push messages or email, or it can actually also update backend systems like BI systems, giving that more data that is basically the same data that marketing is using, or giving customer service the same data that marketing is using, actually giving you as a company the opportunity to actually work with this 360 that we've been talking about for many years in real time, in a totally different way than it has been possible before. And so just to make it really clear here, so the way this works is that anytime an event happens, and an event can be a lot of different things. It can be data coming from the data layer in Tag Manager on a website session. It can be a form conversion. It can be both. Anytime an action happens that can send data down to the server, then what the CDP does is that it stitches that data to the existing data, meaning that over time we get an idea of many digital touch points, or even actually point of sales also. So as long as we can load that data in, we can stitch it together with the profiles when there are IDs that match. And then over time, we get this very clear idea of, okay, so how is this person behaving, and what can we do to accommodate, and what does it mean, for example? Yeah. And what this actually means is that we connect the gaps that I was talking about before. We actually connect that human behavior that is lost when we only focus on each silo and each touch point. Yeah. Good. Very soon, Kati is going to show you how the Salesforce Data Cloud works. But I'm just going to really quickly relate this to CDP, because as Kati will say, Data Cloud is something more and bigger than a CDP, but it also has all of the CDP capabilities in there. So loading in data from different sources is data ingestion. Then you need to map that data and model it into the existing data model. That is what the CDP called collecting the full extent of all of the data, of the ingested data. Then you do identity resolution, which is stitching all the data together to form coherent profiles. And then you do segmentation activation. That is where you send that data to a tool, for example, Salesforce Marketing Cloud or Pardot, and you then activate on these data, meaning you deliver that customer experience to the people you just defined inside of the CDP. What of course happens is then that you get some behavior data out of that. You get some email behavior, you probably get some website data. Maybe you can even connect it to app data or point of sales in a store data. And that data is then fed back into the data cloud. And then I hopefully it makes sense that that you can see that this loop starts where we just gather more and more data and become better and better at delivering customer experience based on that data, because the data is now more precise and also more actually. So yeah. So what is the outcome of implementing a CDP or a data cloud? I'm gonna be talking about that in 3 levels. So the first level is like strategy wise, what is the probable outcome of implementing a CDP? And that is one way of looking at this is looking at companies, because it's actually kind of hard to tell specifically. But one way you can look at it is to say companies that have a CDP versus companies that don't have a CDP. How do they perform against each other? And companies that have implemented and have a working CDP, they have quite a bigger and better numbers actually. So it's a greater annual increase in customer satisfaction. It's a greater growth year over year. It's increase in customer spend, and it's growth in both cross and upsell revenues. Besides also the of course the added customer experience that also brings new customers in here. So there's a lot of strategic sense in actually using a CDP in your company. So if we then look at it from a marketeer, what is it that we get? Well, we get a lot of stuff. We get better data, and we get more data, and we get data from more touch points, and it's going to help BI people, and it's going to help people doing reporting a lot. It's going to possibly help customer service, but it's also, as a marketeer, something that helps you gain a lot greater control of the customer journey. The fact that you get more data is also something that allows you to become more personal or deliver a better in-context experience for clients in general. So the headline for that is greater control of the customer journey, and that has a lot of great implications for you as a marketer. What do you then get as a customer implementing this? This is one of our cases from one of our clients, where we implemented Marketing Cloud and Sales Cloud last year. And Kredsløb is a green district heating / cooling and waste and recycling company. They do a lot of stuff, and they serve 170,000 households in the Aarhus municipality. And they have a strategy, mainly because our government has the strategy, but also because they realize that this is the way they can improve. And the strategy is to make it easy to be green. That's what vi gør det nemt at være grøn means. And they have a website that revolves all around this, a very, very nice website also. What they came to us with was the issue of district heating. It's at the surface, this sounds very, very boring, but it's something that has massive implication on being a green company and having all of the households in the Aarhus municipality utilize district heating as best possible. So when the data is leaving the plant, it's been heated up to 60-70 degrees, and it's being sent out in pipes to all households in Aarhus. And then when it's been used in the house, it's sent back into Kredsløb main plant, and the temperature of the water that is being sent back is what we call return temperature, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So having a return temperature as a house that is below 40 degrees is ideal, and that indicates that we in the house have an efficient utilization of heating the water. And the reason why it needs to be efficient is that if it's not efficient, then there's a lot of heat loss, and then basically heating up the water in the main plant is very, very inefficient and not good for the earth, honestly. So the low return temperature has a very positive impact on the customers, both bill but also the environment. And the issue is actually that only a handful of people in the entire system that has a too high return temperature has a very, very big impact on the entire system. So it's important for people in their houses to actually utilize the warmth and the heat efficiently. And in the past, this has been a very big and expensive task for the customer service in Kredsløb, and this has mainly meant that they haven't actually been focusing on this because it's been too costly, too time-consuming, and too complex. So the challenge was, what can we do with a CDP and a marketing automation tool to execute this? And the idea was to identify and target houses with high return temperatures, and then see if contacting them and telling them about this issue that no one knows about is something that could actually maybe have an impact. What we did was very CDP-like. We ingested data from CRMs, from consumption data in houses, meaning measurement devices sitting in houses, measuring the return temperature, and then CRM data of who had already been contacted. We mapped that data, we identified and joined data together. We did some segments, and then we sent emails based on that and sent the data back to the Power BI dashboards. Okay, yes, it is. I can actually use my keyboard also. Okay, I'm done very, very soon. So the proxy results were basically 1,400 emails almost sent, a very big open rate of 80%, and a click rate of almost 50%, which is very, very good. But that's not really what we are doing it. We are doing it to change the environment, or have a positive impact on the environment. And actually, 40% of the people we contacted were lower after, and it had an impact on the entire system of actually improving the efficiency with 13%. So it had a lot bigger impact than we actually expected. And everyone was very happy. And one of the reasons why everyone was very happy about this was that we basically only did this as an MVP. It wasn't automated properly. It wasn't personalized properly. It wasn't optimized in any way. So at the moment, we are now in optimizing. And when we've optimized this, we're doing several tests. When we optimized and found the best way of actually getting people to understand what they need to do, then that's a matter of scaling. And then we scale it to B2B, and that has a massive impact. So the little thing we did now had a very big impact, a lot bigger than expected. So when we start to scale, we expect that this will have a massive impact on the entire district heating system, which is going to be a really, really cool thing. And it's going to be a very nice thing for us and for utilizing a CDP for something that actually makes a difference in the world. Yeah. One point that is there also is that we now set customer service free, so that they don't need to do this, because what was before a big annoying task for them is now automated and runs by itself, and it's just need to be maintained. Yeah, so that's my take for today. Now you are going to be hearing Katja talking about how the Salesforce Data Cloud actually works. Yeah.
Perfect, thanks. Great stuff, Jonathan. So hi everyone, my name is Kati Mattila. I'm a solution engineer here at Salesforce, specializing in our MarTech solutions. And I'm happy to be taking you through what Salesforce Data Cloud is in the next 10 minutes or so. But before we get started, our mandatory love letter from our legal team. So please do base all your purchasing decisions on products and services that are currently commercially available. Too fast. Cool, but just to reiterate on what we just heard from the previous presenters, as well as what we've heard from our customers globally, it's truly what we heard before. So cohesive, data-driven customer experiences are harder than ever to achieve. And that is due to that sheer volume of touch points that we heard from Jonathan as well. So all of these millions or even billions of touch points that we're having with our customers usually reside in different applications. And on average, companies have close to 1,000 different applications in use. Also, what we heard before is that customers have multiple IDs. So it's really tough to unify this data into that 360-degree view of each customer. Additionally, of course, the data privacy regulations and the changes and the inevitable end of the cookies in the future will really make it tough to personalize and create personalized experiences and retarget in the future without that first-party data source and that unified view of the customer. So for this reason, we have come out with Data Cloud, or what was previously known as the Salesforce CDP. And Data Cloud really is the next generation of the Salesforce platform. It has an embedded lakehouse architecture, which allows for the ingestion and unification of very large volumes of data across those different data sources and across those different data types. So whether this be that engagement data, that profile data, the transactional data, in order to then support those big data use cases that we just saw in the customer example that Jonathan presented. So truly, Data Cloud is an evolution of the former Salesforce CDP that now then expands to also sales and service in addition to marketing. What is more is that, of course, the true value of Data Cloud is that it allows you to connect, to harmonize all of that customer data from any source system into Salesforce and truly create that customer 360 that Salesforce is known for. And oops, too fast. And truly, Data Cloud is built for openness. So it comes with capabilities to bring your own data lake, so zero copy, bring your own model, as well as we're extending Salesforce Data Cloud through our ecosystem. So of course, our ISV partners and App Exchange. And what we mean with bring your own lake is that you can actually securely bring in or connect your external data lakes into Salesforce without actually copying that data into Data Cloud. So usually what we see with our customers is that IT teams are spending time in building and maintaining complex data pipelines, resulting in multiple copies of the data that is eventually, of course, expensive to maintain and can often end up out of sync. So with this option of doing a bi-directional zero copy integration, we're actually eliminating those issues that we've seen in the past. And as we see in the image here, so we've announced support for Snowflake and BigQuery. Also on the roadmap, we have Databricks and AWS. And more on the extensibility of our platform is, we heard from before that AI is more important than ever. So bring your own model allows you to actually train your AI models with the unified and harmonized data that we have sitting in Data Cloud, and then activate that information or those results from the models back into our platform to be used for segmentation, to be used for personalization and other use cases. Of course, we have also that activation to first-party advertising platforms, such as our strategic partnerships with Meta and Google. And of course, I already mentioned that we're also able to extend this with the App Exchange or the ISV partners. But now let's talk a little bit about how Data Cloud works in practice. Jonathan gave us an overview of it quickly. But really at the heart of it is connecting all of your customer data at hyperscale. And as I mentioned, we can do this through zero copy or by the form of copying actually that data onto our platform. So we have extensive options for out-of-the-box connectors on how you can build or bring that data into Data Cloud, as well as then we have our SDKs, our APIs also to support. Once we are actually ingesting that data and bringing all of that data into a Data Cloud, whether this be in streaming, in batches, or in that live format that I talked about, we can then prepare and transform that data with clicks and not code. But the challenge, of course, as we all know, is that although you might be able to bring that information or that data into one place, the issue is the different schemas that vary and the harmonization. So at the core of it, Data Cloud harmonizes all of this data into a common data model. Also, we have very robust identity resolution capabilities that then allow you to create that single source of truth and stitch those identities together. And of course, with this unified profile, what you're then able to do is build BI insights, build AI insights that you can truly now actually train with that data that is harmonized. And we have that bring your own model, as I mentioned before. So we have capabilities of utilizing Amazon SageMaker or Google Vertex in collaboration with Data Cloud, as well as utilizing our own Einstein, so our own AI layer that comes with out-of-the-box predictive and generative AI capabilities. And truly what Data Cloud is it's not a passive data lake. So every table that we have in the system can actually generate a change event, so an action that you can activate across your different applications, so across service, across sales, across marketing. And of course, marketeers can build segments and can activate those across MarTech and AdTech platforms to then personalize experiences across channels, so across email, across web, across mobile, or they can also connect, BI tools such as Tableau that we have in our own product portfolio to truly start exploring that data, getting insights, and to start optimizing not only marketing but also those sales and service capabilities. And we heard about that great customer example from Jonathan on what the type of success is that customers can achieve with Salesforce Data Cloud. But here I have a few examples on customers globally, such as Kia, and they were able to unify car and telemetry data to really provide those personalized experiences, such as getting a notification when a customer is driving with their windows down to encourage them to save up on fuel by putting those windows up. So those are the type of big data use cases that can be achieved on the platform. Also, there is cases, and they were able to do 3 times as fast segmentation as they were able to do before, just for the fact that on the platform, not only do we have the capabilities of building those very complex segments across those different data sources for several different use cases with our drag and drop UI builder, but also as a roadmap item, we have our generative AI capabilities for actually generating segments with natural language. Also, we have Inter, which is an online bank, and they were able to really up their ROI and increase their conversions by leveraging the data that they had in Data Cloud, enriching it with metrics such as engagement scores or customer lifetime value scores, and then basing the interactions that they had with customers on the basis of that information, and really delivering personalized promotions and unique messaging to those customers and individuals. Great. Cool. I think now it's time for the Q&A.
Great. Thank you, Katja, and thank you also, Saku and Jonathan, for the great presentations. So we have a question from an audience. So perhaps, Jonathan, over to you. So how do we measure ROI in CDP implementations? And do you have any views and previous case examples regarding the topic?
Yeah, so first things first, ROI and completely making sure that what you do is what has an impact is a massive question with a lot of implications. And it's very, very difficult. And that's the reason why I actually, when I talked about the outcomes of using a CDP, I talked about the strategic level. So what is it that is probably possible for you if you start utilizing a CDP? What is it that you get out as a marketeer? What is it that you get as a customer? But measuring the ROI is very much a matter of measuring in small chunks. So there's obviously the classic thing of making sure that that you see an increase in in purchasing. in different ways when you start to utilize a new tool. That needs to go up over time, but that's not something that comes straight away. But then for like a specific project like the Kresløb project where we had, it's a matter of making sure the data is valid. So you need to be sure what you want to achieve before. Is it selling more pieces of chocolate? Is it making sure that people interact a different way? And then you basically isolate that. So you need to be very aware of how you measure, what you can measure securely, and then that needs to be mapped to the actual use case. So for me, this starts up a whole long talk on how do we even define what we need to do. As I hope you've seen today, that working with customer data in this way isn't something that just happens by chance. You need to be very structured, and measuring the ROI of a CDP is something where you need to be very structured as well. So I would suggest that you find out ways to measure broadly, and then find out ways to measure while you're waiting for the big numbers of sales going up. That's not something that happens from one day to another. Find ways to measure like proxy results. So I had proxy results and actual results in the case also. So measure clicks, measure how many people moves over, measure what you really want to the behavior want to happen, and then if you can, link that to purchase also. Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan, for thought through answer the question. Another question to Saku. So when talking about data strategy and data infrastructure, so where does data architect fit into the picture?
Yeah, that's a good one. Data architecture, I skipped this part because there was not enough time to go thoroughly through all of this. Data architecture fits in between strategy and infrastructure. So you need to have a architecture for example, how you start modeling data, how you create the big picture out of it, but also it involves technology architecture, how to start building the system. Does a solution like Salesforce bring most of it already to you as a ready solution, or do you need to build something for yourself? And then third one is enterprise architecture. That fits also here, because we are talking about how data is born in different places, how it flows through your organization. So you need to identify these things together, also how they map to your business. So there are lots of different architectures that need to be involved in this picture. But yes, data architecture fits in between strategy and then infrastructure implementation. So it's a tool there in between.
Thank you, Saku. So to wrap up the session, just a final question over to Jonathan also this time. So how does CDP ensure compliant first-party data handling? So if you take that super briefly, and then we end up and wrap up the webinar session from today. Your microphone would need to be put on.
Super briefly, yeah, sorry. You have one point for all your customer data. You have one place where you need to tell the tool that you don't need to send to this person anymore, meaning that it's very easy to control that you don't send any more communications out in any channels, because it's controlled from one place. Very briefly.
Good. Thank you all for joining the webinar session today. I hope you like the content and got inspired about our great speakers. So thank you again also to Kati, Jonathan, and Saku for joining us today. We will end up the session here. So you know how to contact us. Our contact details and the names are shared in the presentation. You will get the webinar recording later on as well. So thank you again. Have a good day.